What's up, man?
How you doing?
Good to meet you.
Dude, it's an
the
honor.
one and only Jimmy Bluff. I hear a lot about you.
It's an honor.
I'm the last person I think to meet you.
You might have been, yeah. In fact, we've met years ago. Were you just up the bodybuilding.com expo?
No, I was not there.
You were not there. Okay.
Yeah.
It must have been the Arnold. Then I saw you. And
Probably.
There's a long line of people I didn't get a chance to talk to. But that's actually where I started wanting to work with a lot of pros. I flew out to work and kind of spend time with Heather Dees, one of your patients.
Yeah, one of our species athletes.
What she finished.
She was second at the Arnold.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
I went out for her, and
Have you been working on her?
Yeah, a couple 100 hours over the last
100 hours.
3 years. Yeah, it was for a while there, once to twice a week for a couple of years.
Wow.
She went from 14th to so amazing people. But yeah, so that's where I originally shook hands and started working with a ton of pros, and it's an honor, I tell you, to be here because I hear you are.
We're on the same level as far as alternative medicines.
Hey, if you tell me I'm on the same level as you, man, I'll come back over and over. But
I want to know what you do. But let's go in the back. Let's set up the table because I got really bad shoulders. My leg got worked on today already. It's healing. If you could cure my shoulders, I will bow down to you.
You don't need to do that. But let's fix them anyway.
All right. All right, we're here in these studios now. We got the lights set up. We got the table set up. Jimmy's ready to go. Tell me what you're going to do. I'm going to say nothing the whole time, basically.
Cool.
I want to just hear you talk.
Cool.
What are you going to do to me? You know, I got the bad shoulders.
Yeah.
Everyone knows out there that I have bad shoulders.
Right.
So if you actually can do something to improve these, then people will know that that there's something special.
I'm not just got the bad haircut.
That's right.
Just stand nice and relaxed for me, okay? The one thing I see just by doing an assessment right now is your body's pulled down. Okay, that means you either love sitting in your car or you've got a sleep pattern or something. Obviously, you've been an incredible bodybuilder your entire life. So just giving you a normal assessment right now, this shoulder is 1 to 2 inches from your shoulder cap higher than this one. We've got a fascial adhesion right here that's coming off your shoulder, and you've got some awesome fibrotic stuff that I'm actually going to remove.
Really?
Yeah,
that'll be amazing.
You're going to hear it popping and breaking and releasing. So the first thing I want to focus on is opening your pecs up, because it's not going to do any good to open your shoulders up without actually realigning your chest completely. And then from there, I'm going to separate the front delt. We're going to carve that out, because a lot of times I find with sleep patterns, especially, just about every bodybuilder I find, it's not the gym. They go home after bench pressing 500 pounds, and then they sleep like this. And then they wonder why this feels comfortable all day. And then they drop their arm, and all of a sudden, my front delt.
Yeah, and I sit on the plane a lot. I'm always like in weird contorted positions, especially with the leg. I can't.
Absolutely. And that's the next thing. The minute we sit down in the car, there's tight psoas, tight pecs. So it's like you don't want to walk around like this all day. So how are we going to reverse those things? And aside from foam rolling, stretching really just reminds you that you're really sore. So let's just segmentalize and open up the pecs a little bit, but focus on really opening up and popping those shoulders. What pain or what issues are you dealing with?
I actually have good flexibility, but I have pain when I'm away from my body because there's no stability.
You're lifting with your trap.
Yes, pretty much.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but I can move. I can put my hands in weird positions because I have good flexibility, but the joints are sore.
Yeah. You can see, obviously, a lot of these ropes right here. So what I'm going to do little by little, I'm going to lean into that tissue without using any knuckles. I'm actually going to lean in and find that perfect center point, and we're going to slowly release these knots and triggers. Then I'm going to come through and with my fingertips, I'm actually going to pull them apart. And Dave can tell you even what he's feeling.
I smell like a pina colada.
Do you?
Yeah, from the coconut oil.
Oh, coconut oil. Yeah, Guy Cicinino's dog wouldn't stop licking me. So.
I always assumed those things had to be cut out at some point.
Nope. No, and that's what's incredible. A lot of times, like I said, those chronic holding patterns and everything, there's no way to stretch when you get, that muscle so fibrotic and tight. You can see how tight that is. So if Dave's laying on his side, if he's built that much mass over the years, that 9-inch deltoid when he was 12 might be 7 now. The minute he goes to lift his arm, all of a sudden, it's pulling right at his attachment, creating major nerve pain. So it's not that he can fight the pain to lift it. Right now, the muscle's so short, he almost physically can't lift it, plus he's dealing with the pain. Kind of a double whammy. So I want to remove what's causing the pain, then I want to put the body in alignment to fix the pain from coming back.
What about the joint pain from the lack of cartilage in there?
Well, what's going to happen when I put a size of muscle on you that's going to fit you instead of a shoulder that fits my little sister,
Right.
it won't be pulling anymore. So A, you're going to have blood flow in there to help it heal. B, I'm gonna make room for you to all of a sudden be able to move it wherever you want, and as long as there's no pain,
Right.
then the difference is it's not, at least this isn't going to rip out now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and I'm guessing the cartilage probably was from having so much lack of blood flow and circulation, and then, you know, being a superstar, obviously you guys just push through it.
Well, I'll tell you how I feel. I know you have to do the rear delt. I feel almost like it doesn't belong to me anymore.
No
the shoulder.
restrictions.
Yeah,
You don't feel that
Nothing.
pain.
I don't feel the. I'm not even conscious of the shoulder anymore.
So you can see now, obviously, there's still a couple of the deeper layers that I still have to get rid of. We've got that bad boy right there.
Yeah.
That's about the size of the girth of my thumb. But you can see how nice and soft.
Yeah, it's soft. That's the
There's
best way to put it.
there's no way before I could have even pinched his skin, let alone give him more room to actually lift the shoulder. And the next thing we've got to do, you could see Dave.
It's so amazing because I could feel the rear delta is all bound up because you didn't do that yet.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why it's still shoving it forward until I can take that. Now, lift your shoulder one more time. I want you to look.
I couldn't do this before.
Okay. Now the next step, obviously, is once we finish the back. Right now, he has to lift his trap to lift his shoulder.
Right.
I want him to be able to just literally do that. And right now, you can see it's impossible because this right here is actually fused.
Yes, I feel it.
To his deltoid. So right now, you might as well say that Dave's deltoid starts here. You know what I mean? It's not an arm and a shoulder, it's a schmarm when everything's just kind of stuck together fashion.
You want to hear something? You want to hear something weird? My
Yeah.
friend Charlie Arms, a very good friend of mine, dear friend of mine, lives
Does he
down.
have big arms?
He's got huge arms, and he's almost 70 years old. He said he had a dream about me last night when I called him up, and he said that the dream was that he was looking at my right shoulder, and there was a hole in my right shoulder. And it looked like my trap was part of my shoulder. He says, but I can't even explain to you why I was seeing this.
Are you
dream.
serious?
I swear, I just talked to him 10 minutes ago.
I always talk about
I don't
it.
know what it means.
Dude, no, I always talk about it because a lot of people who get out of their car, who are sitting there talking on their phone, all of a sudden with the right leg all the way cranked out, I'm looking at them, I'm like, well, how can you not tell? Your leg shifted all the way up, and now it's actually pulling your body down. So I have to literally
I feel like
separate
that. I feel like
that.
that. If I don't have something supporting my arm normally, I get strains in my trap and through the rear.
Because you literally have 50 pounds of pressure pulling at the attachment, causing pain. I just took the pressure off.
I just thought my arm was so big that it was heavy.
No, the nice thing is we don't need to put him down. We don't need to put you down with. I'm just kidding. But you can see right in here that lump underneath there. How do you get rid of that, folks? Surgeon? Well, unfortunately, surgeons just put more scar tissue, so I'm actually going to pull it apart with my fingertips, and right when it hits the end of that teres and delt area, I can actually feel where it separates, and Dave will probably feel a little bit of a burning. And what's funny is, if I keep going on that one fiber, I can follow it all the way down, and you can hear it if you got real close to the elbow. I just started and followed one line, and you can almost see more separation that's already there. So when you sleep on your side, when you sleep with your arm over your head, a lot of guys sleep like this, and all of a sudden, same exact issue, everything shortens and fuses. It's like that joke, you know, don't sit there with a funny look on your face or it'll freeze that way. Well, when you've got a 22-inch bicep and you're dehydrated and your arm weighs 50 pounds and you fall asleep and you can't feel your fingers, you're probably going to have some issues in the morning when you wake up. And then if you ignore it, go to the gym and bench press 500 pounds, like every bodybuilder does, it's no reason why you're in pain. Every reason. And how can you do rear delts when you've got literally a steel rod that's supposed to be, you know, X amount of inches longer, pulling your tricep 2 inches shorter here to here. That would probably cause some pretty severe tendonitis. The problem I have is everyone thinks tendonitis is in the elbow. Well, that's true, that's where you feel it. It's the tricep and everything you're doing all day long that's making this short. So I've actually taught a couple bodybuilders how to roll themselves out on foam rollers, let alone Smith machines or even a bar in the gym. That's how when I'm even training at times where I feel a catch and I don't have someone like myself to fix me, I actually roll out my attachments and all of a sudden I can get through an entire workout pain-free.
I'm here with the miracle worker, Jimmy Bluff. 3 hours.
Still standing.
3 hours. Johnny Styles said 3 hours. I felt that it was like an hour, maybe.
Right. Once we obviously release a lot of the stuff that's causing that pain,
Yeah.
it's a lot different from being knuckle dragging in pain for an hour
Well,
compared
I
to
never
3.
was able to do this,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
or this. I mean, very easily. I was able to go overhead a little bit easier before, but it's getting a little stiff, I think, from
Right.
just getting cold.
Right. And you obviously get normal work done. So how often during the week are you currently seeing someone?
I get no work done.
Oh, you don't know?
Nothing. I don't even let anyone touch my shoulders because I'm afraid. I thought the fibrotic tissue was actually holding everything together.
No,
You know?
no. Now you know, obviously, that there's no reason
Yeah.
for you to be trapped inside your own body. And a lot of times with chronic holding patterns, with guys with carrying a ton of muscle, you go sit in an airplane.
Yeah.
It shouldn't take you 2 months to feel normal again.
I was brutalized in the airplane. So
yeah.
I'm going to be traveling tomorrow, so I'll let you know how it works out.
Yeah,
I really appreciate you coming down.
It's an honor.
How do people get in touch with you?
You can reach me on Instagram, Jimmy_Bluff, on Facebook, Jimmy Bluff, also the Bluff Technique, Advanced Muscle Reconstruction, and my website, jimmybluff.com, is also a way that they can send me emails. It's under construction.
When will be the next time you're going to be back in the New York area?
I'm going to be back in New York probably the last week of October, once the dust settles from the Olympia.
I'll see you at the Olympia then.
Absolutely. I'll be there a week early. I've got some really big names that have scheduled a ton of time
Really?
that no one else has seen right now.
Secret, confidential.
And they are, I got goosebumps. Look at, I got goosebumps. I'm working with a couple guys trying to return to the stage to create history in every class that are on my table. I've got the tallest 300-pound, 6'3" bodybuilder that'll have about 30 hours of my work before we get there. So as a fan,
That's the only person
so
I can think of.
different.
That sounds like the X-Man to me.
The X-Man.
Okay.
And to work on the X-Man is like I put out there is like, what could I do? I'd love to work on Jay, and I told him like doing this in the long run was like I'd love to fix a bodybuilder and see what would be capable of putting him back on stage and removing all his injuries. And dude, it's like I didn't know 3 hours went by. It doesn't matter. I've been working with my hands. It's just fun.
Yeah.
You know, whoa, you feel good too. That's a bonus.
Wasn't so fun for me. Now it's more
Wasn't fun for him.
It's fun now.
You feel
because
that?
it's done,
Yeah. But working with the X-Man was awesome because you're just that. He has an X-frame. He's humongous. And I'm looking at a guy my height, 70 pounds bigger than you, or 60 pounds bigger.
I tell everyone knows it. I said if I had to pick one bodybuilder to look like, not maybe to beat, to look like Tony Freeman.
Right. And imagine taking a pec tear out that he's still been winning shows
Yeah, I was going to
close
ask you,
to.
did you do any work on that pec tear?
I put a couple hours into it. We've got about 5% left. The stitching line's gone. I made the shoulder reappear. P.S. Tony's an amazing dude. I spend time, Tony came, the first bodybuilder to fly in, spend time in my home with my dog, my wife, and I was like, dude, I don't want you to go. So what a lot of fans don't know, I stayed with Jay Cutler. I've slept over the whole weekend with Allison Fraun, Steve Kuklo.
Not in the same bed as them.
No.
Okay.
No. But no, unfortunately not. But I think she snored. I don't know. He snored, but no, they're just amazing people, and like honestly, like we were hugging. Like, dude, I don't want to go, even though I'm like exhausted.
I think even though people get such great results from you, you have to get something back from them energetically too.
Dude,
from touching them that long.
We could. I mean, if people are like, aren't you exhausted at the end of the day? And when like a 70-year-old client has been waiting 2 weeks to see me, and she comes in and she's like, hi, how are you? And she can't touch the ground, and when she leaves, like it's hard not to get emotional when someone in so much pain that you can help. How do you not work 15-hour days?
Absolutely.
Like, wait 2 more weeks. No, get on my table. So it's been awesome. I came from Guy Ciccinino's and Bethany's, and they make me feel at home. And the whole point to that explanation was, everyone's out there critiquing all these bodies, but they're not looking at the human beings inside them. These are amazing people that you can trust.
When you're in
spend time
pain,
with. You have to trust me.
out.
Yeah. Yeah, but again, thank you. I mean, being here, man, is to me in my own career means I made it somewhere by hanging out with you. So again,
Thanks, man.
you're badass.
Jimmy Bluff.